I so appreciate you putting this together.
Thank you. What meds were you taking again?
I'm taking Lamictal and that generic Capra.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking Lamictal, 200 milligrams twice. They gave me some Keppra, but it was at the emergency room, so I didn't take it
Yeah,
because it was just like an emergency room. They were
right.
telling me, "Oh, this could be better than just taking Lamictal alone." And I took it to my doctor, and he was like, "Don't take anything they give you at the emergency room."
No, they're just trying to give you something to say they gave you something.
Right.
Yeah. And Capra works for me or whatever. I don't know if there's a difference between the two. Leviatran or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levita Siricium, something like that.
Yeah, something. LEV, I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I am so happy with that what I got. Kepler does work for a lot of people, obviously, because they're still giving it, you know. But some people, it doesn't work. It's just as we've said many times, is that all these different medications. I think I came across 21.
Yeah, I think
I
someone
don't know
told me that
how,
too.
yeah, I don't know how real that number is, but they've obviously done research, testing and such, so it does work for some people. But then again, there's some of us that they don't work for.
I seen something that said they were working on their pills, epileptic AEDs, basically with rats and mice. That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's wild. Uh,
yeah. I don't see where. I mean, what are you telling me? I'm in close proximity to
to a rat.
rats. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with something I got. It says had a seizure hours after taking meds. Has anyone taken their meds 3 to 4 hours later? Taking their meds and 3 to 4 hours later had a seizure. All seizures I've had have been tonic, and today I had one. Uh, I've had one tonic clonic, and I'm truly not doing okay. I'm just wondering if anyone else has had this happen. I'm on 3K milligrams of Keppra and 150 of lamotrigine since November. Um, Not everything works for everyone. We've said plenty of times,
Right.
but I think I've had a seizure after taking my meds in the morning, and midday had a seizure or
Oh
something like
yeah.
that.
I think meds don't cure you.
Right.
They lower them. They reduce the um uh the intensity of them. But as far as being cured, I'm sorry, but I don't see that happening. Brain surgeries now have a better chance of doing that. My VNS hasn't cured anything along with my brain surgery. What I have realized is that, so I don't carry my magnet with me, which
Mm-hmm.
is, you swipe it and it's supposed to increase the intensity of uh, the electricity that it sends into your vagus nerve, which in
Yeah.
turn sends it to your brain. But now that I'm working, I feel the need to have a better uh, I need to have that magnet with me. And I've got three of them. Two of them, all three of them were on the door. So yeah, I put one on my bedstand and I'll take one with me to work. So
Yeah.
I'll have that.
I heard somebody else with it, and they said they keep one in their bag, they keep one at home, uh,
Right.
several places around the house.
I really don't even use it that much. My wife will do it. She'll grab it. Tom, all right, I'll grab the magnet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm so used to having seizures and stuff that I don't even bother with it a lot of times. I know that's pretty sad, but as you know, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just, hey, it's part of life. It's just the way it is.
So
And
in 50 years of having epilepsy, how many meds have they put you on?
phenobarb, dilantin, valproic acid, um, there's another valproic, and then the migdal Biotrim, um, something begins with a T. Just I can't even start, man.
Yeah, I know
There's
what you
some that
mean.
they probably even do anymore.
I heard something about the, what did you say, Valturic or something like that?
Valproic acid.
Valproic acid. Someone said that like makes your hair thin, or you lose hair taking that. You're doing pretty good, I guess.
But I think that might be from a hat and uh and a hairnet.
Okay.
I don't know, but it seems like that just started happening since I got this job.
In the comments of that question, someone says, yes, my son, he's still having seizures, although he's on meds. The seizures are not under control and they don't seem to be getting better, even after taking the meds and hours later having a seizure. That absolutely sucks.
Yeah. So I want to comment on some of these, but I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't usually. I mean, I like stuff. I'm just not somebody that's a social media person,
gotcha.
and I just don't like typing stuff or because I don't know. When I do, a lot of times it doesn't come out the way I want it to. And I swipe. You see my English and stuff, the way it looks
Yeah,
like I typed this all stuff out. And what it is, I got a keyboard where I swipe the text on
yeah.
my iPad and phone. I just swipe the keyboard and then I send it before reading it.
Yeah, I got to start doing that is reading it first because sometimes I don't
Yeah,
have my auto correct on, so that bothers me sometimes. Uh,
yeah.
I like to
But
not
it's
have it on so I don't forget how to spell things. But
yeah.
sometimes I press the wrong button instead of not spelling it right. I just press the wrong button.
And I mean I've been typing since 89
So
and
that's
I still can't hardly type without looking.
I've been typing since 2005. I took a web design class,
Uh,
and ever since then, I've been pretty good at typing. I
yeah.
mean, like my speed of typing, good. Might get a letter wrong every
Yeah,
now and then.
right. See, I started let's see, well, I went back to school for drafting and design in 89. That was when Windows first came out. In fact, it was DOS when I first started. I was taking AutoCAD and it was on the computer, of course. Um, and it's funny because I was just sitting in front of the computer and uh, uh, the teacher says, "Well, are you having a problem?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know how to turn the computer on." It was the first time I was sitting in front of a computer and I'm taking a class on AutoCAD. So yeah,
And computers
but
were much harder to use back then.
the what?
Computers were much harder to
Oh
use back
yeah,
then.
oh yeah. I'll tell you, it really makes me feel old now. I guess I am. How old are you?
I'm 35. I feel like I'm getting there.
Hey, you know what? dude, it's all downhill from
I'm
there.
middle aged.
Yeah. But yeah, I just turned 64 in May, 25th of May.
I'll
So it's just
be I'll be 20. I'll be 36 August. So not too far from
around
now.
the corner. Right.
Yeah. I got something here. It says EMDR therapy. You heard of that?
EMD.
EMDR therapy. Never
No.
heard of it.
EMD. Let me see. EMD. And it has to do with epilepsy.
Yeah, I'll read the question. It says, "Hey guys, I had a grand mal seizure for the first time in a couple months. The only thing I can think of that yesterday I started EMDR processing of the disorder. I asked my therapist, and she said it only happens in really rare cases. Just wanted to ask if anyone else had experienced something similar when doing EMDR therapy." Someone in the comments said, "I've had EMDR therapy and never had a seizure from my sessions. Maybe speak to your GP or neurologist and mention the correlation between when you've had the seizure and that it's quite close to your EMDR session. Maybe they'll be able to provide additional guidance." That's interesting. EMDR therapy. I'm gonna
How
have to
old
look
is
that
that?
up. It's a few days old, not too
Oh,
far back.
okay. I was just going to say, just think EMDR question mark. Help me out here. Or
Uh,
could Google it or yeah, EMDR. But yeah.
Yeah, I basically
I-
say for things like this, get in touch with your doctor, your neurologist.
yeah.
Some questions like this you can't ask people on Reddit. I mean, some you can, but just to get opinions on people who had it. But
Yeah.
to tell somebody that you've had seizures on it, I think you should get in touch with your neurologist like as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So you don't
That's
want
not something I'd like to I don't want to give you any information that a doctor should be giving you.
right. I don't want to give you the wrong information and then you're
Right.
disappointed at me or something.
Hey, I don't tell people ask me when I'm standing at my station, what's in this product? Why is this one better than that one? And I just put the box out there and here's the ingredients. You do that yourself.
I got something else here. It says feeling lost. Hello, all. I do not have an epilepsy diagnosis, but I recently had an EEG done and it came back abnormal with generalized epileptic form disturbance without definite focal features. My neurologist ordered it after I had what we think was a complex migraine. I thought I was having a stroke, vertigo, numbness, and half of my body in facial drooping, and ended up being in the ER, etc. I don't think she expected it to come back abnormal, and I definitely didn't either. I did have a seizure like event 10 years ago after passing out, but at the time my EEG was normal, and doctors told me it was from lack of oxygen from passing out. I also have a POTS diagnosis. Anyway, the neurologist I was seeing only really works with migraines, and she told me to see the other doctor in the practice after giving me my results. She didn't give me any information on if I should not be driving or anything. I should be doing I should be doing in the meantime, except to get 72-hour EEG. Two, my next appointment is in July, and I've just been spiraling since. I struggle with health anxiety, the first place in the first place, and last month and a half, my health has just hit rock bottom since that event. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I have 3 kids under 6. I just so badly want to be healthy again. Not sure if this is okay to post here, but I'd really like to hear your responses. Um,
Good luck with that.
right,
That's something you need to be talking to a doctor about. See,
right.
that's
Especially,
some.
especially because you don't know if it's epilepsy, and then the doctors are saying no. A lot of people get misdiagnosed. I just say
Yeah.
get a second opinion, second, third,
That's it right there.
second,
Go to a
third, fourth opinion,
neurologist. Yeah, you
whatever
go to a
necessary.
neurologist, you're not happy with the decision, go find yourself an epileptologist. And I
Right.
know they're not easy to get into, except for you
California is
with
quite different.
Medi-Cal.
Yeah, like I didn't understand. Well, not that I was supposed to understand, but I didn't understand the part where they said I recently had an EEG and it came back abnormal with generalized epileptic form disturbance with definite focal features. That's in quotes. So I'm guessing that's a whole thing. Um,
Yeah, that's from the doctor's mouth.
yeah.
From
That I don't know about that, but have you had vertigo ever?
no,
Me either.
that's when you get dizzy.
Yeah.
Your head gone. No,
I get dizzy maybe bending over or something, but
yeah, I no,
not
it's
vertigo that causes numbness in half of my body and facial
no.
drooping. That kind of sounds like
That's
stroke.
the facial drooping and stuff. That to me, that's what you get when you have a stroke.
Right.
I don't personally. Tom 101, which means nothing. Uh, but dizzy, I get dizzy standing up fast, and bending over and standing up. But I don't get dizzy.
Yeah.
I am
So
dizzy, but
yeah, sometimes standing too long, maybe I get dizzy. Yeah, but other than that, vertigo, the type of spinning dizzy all the time, I don't really get that. After a
yeah.
seizure, I usually tell myself sit down anyway, so don't go through that. There
I
is a
usually, when I feel a seizure coming on, if I'm near a wall, I'll just slide down the wall and squat there to see if it goes away. But that way I'm closer to the floor if I do fall over.
right.
Um,
Since you have VNS, I think you could relate to this one. It says, "What can you not do with your VNS?" I just got referred to a neurosurgeon for a VNS. I haven't met with him yet, but I do want personal known interactions for the device. I'm a weightlifter with my seizures. I'm a weightlifter when my seizures let me. I stopped going super crazy years ago, but about but what about after the surgery? After recovery? How long
no,
after the surgery were you not able to drive? Also, I do gymnastics on the side since I used to. Is that okay if I
no,
avoid
no.
best of my ability trauma to the sight device? I work in healthcare and we chart on iPads. I read that you have to keep some devices away from the site. How could I work? I usually hold my hip. I usually hold it at my hip or closer. Also, I wanted to ask how many of you had voice change after the procedure? Anyone? I think
Everyone.
Kevin said he had like a raspy voice a little bit afterwards.
Yeah,
Um,
we all do. See, right here, this wire,
yeah.
there's a wire. This is my vagus nerve.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay, and then right above my on my left I don't know what that muscle is called right here above your head. Above your yeah. Anyway, right here, above your heart. That muscle right there. The VNS is right above that. And then I mean when they put that in, that's an an office visit where they can do that.
Yeah.
Put the VNS in. But anyway, what happens when that the VNS sends the pulse to that nerve? The nerve where they connect is right next to your vocal cords. So when it does send that uh, those pulses to the VNS, it does affect your vocal cords for a couple of, it does to everyone. Everyone. that has a VNS.
I got something else here that is about the VNS in that same post. It says I have a VNS and I don't find it very useful unless I get lucky and it goes off when I'm having a seizure because I don't have tonic-clonics with auras before, so I can't use the magnet to stop myself from having a seizure. The recovery took about a month and it doesn't make you seizure free, so it won't make you able to drive. I work out daily and it's had no effect on that. I don't know what kind of devices you have to keep away from, but your phone or iPad won't do anything. And it only messes with my voice when it goes off sometimes and just have to clear my throat and it gets a little better.
Right, right. Now, the only thing you can't put next to that, the VNS, is a magnet. That's the only thing. And the only reason, because the only reason you put a magnet by it is to swipe it to have it send some stronger impulses.
Okay.
If you take the magnet and you put it on the VNS and you leave it there for a couple seconds, it'll shut it off.
Okay. It's interesting to know.
And if you're going to have a CAT scan done, you have to make sure they know that you have a VNS because when you go in under the CAT scan, that's all magnets.
Yeah, I was gonna say I read that. It said
It'll
take the
pull
metal
that
off
right
and
out of
stuff.
your chest.
Yeah, you don't want it to take it out of you.
Yeah, right. And that would hurt like hell.
Right.
When you go through like when you're going to get on the airplane and you have to go through the microwave thing or the not microwave, the X-ray machine,
Mhm.
you have to let them know that you have it.
Yeah, I always let them know things because I have uh my hip. I had a hip problem, so they had to replace the I think it's called the cuff rotator, maybe the top of the
Yeah,
femur. And I think there's metal in there now, but I always let them
yeah, it's
know.
probably. I think that's what it is. I think it's a Teflon or not Teflon or titanium or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I always let
Yeah,
them know.
something like that.
When I do let them know, they always tell me it's not gonna be a bother, but I just let them know just
Good to
in
know.
case.
There you go. There you go.
You ever have sleep issues with the lamotrigine?
No.
Uh, I have sleep apnea, so I mean, I don't exactly know how that affects me, but I do have problems falling asleep sometimes. Sometimes I just can't sleep at all. I don't know if it's the medication, but in the daytime when I take it, I can sleep. It puts me to sleep. It makes me tired instantly. But when I take it at night, I don't get the fatigue feeling.
Right.
Maybe because I give in to the daytime nap.
I don't have any problem at all going to sleep. I
Nice.
mean, I'll be sitting here watching TV with my wife. I'm out. I can't go to a movie theater. It's $20 out the window. I'll just tell Tracy, hey, honey, I'm going to bed. I go in, lie down, I'm out. And I hear everybody's got problems sleeping. My wife, but she's not on any kind of medication or nothing. She can't sleep. In fact, she has to take um, some medication to go to sleep sometimes.
Okay.
And then she'll be asleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
But
so I
she's
got
up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
uh, yeah, like sometimes like I have problems falling asleep and then it just be so bothersome that I just be like, all right, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'll sit up and do what I'm gonna do until I get tired.
Right.
And then I don't get tired. I notice it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, okay, let me lay down and try again.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. I end up laying there for time and time, and I'm like, why is time just passing? Like, am I dreaming or was I awake?
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what I do. I wake up every morning at 3:30 to go to the bathroom. That's a routine. But sometimes I'll wake up and I'm counting the hours because I'll keep opening my eyes and it's been 15 minutes.
Right.
And that it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And I'll be, I'm up most of the night watching the clock.
Same. I always, when I'm having
And,
problems sleeping, I always think, check the clock and see if I'm
uh,
falling asleep. And
been
it
10
always
minutes.
seems like I haven't been sleeping. The time has passed, but I'm like, have I been asleep? Like I've been thinking about things, but was I asleep or was I just thinking it lying here awake? Never able to figure it out though.
No.
I
Well,
got
you
something.
can sit down and smoke a bowl. That
Yeah,
used
that
to put
helps
me to
too.
sleep.
That helps
To smoke
too.
some
Like
hash or
sometime in the
something.
middle of the night, I gotta smoke more than a bowl in the middle of the night to go to sleep. And usually, yeah. But I got something here that says Lamictal causing sleep issues. Hello and happy weekend. Had I have had TLE from cavernous malformations. I started on Keppra, then they added Vimpat when I wasn't under control. That duo made me so sleepy. No issues there. Interlamictal, when the Vimpat didn't work, they put me on Lamictal, which I've been on for 3 to 4 months. FYI, twice daily at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I've noticed lately that I can't sleep most nights. And when I wake up for the first time, then after an hour, I read it. For example, last night I went to sleep around 10 p.m., woke up around 4:30 a.m., 6.5 hours of sleep exactly. Thursday night, I got about 4 hours. Wednesday, I got about 3 hours. Tuesday, I got a good 7 hours. The last time I got 8+ hours was last weekend, I think. Most of all, and I'm worried about lack of sleep causing seizures, but I sure would like to get some sleep. I'll talk to my neurologist, but just wondering if anybody else had these experiences too. Um, yeah, I don't know if it's the medication
A
that's
lot of
causing
people
the
do.
sleep issues, but something. And I do take Lamictal and only Lamictal, so that could be a sign for me.
That's all you take is Lamictal?
That's all I take is Lamictal.
And how you been doing as far as your seizures going?
Um, I haven't had any since April 11th.
Oh, cool. I thought you had more than that.
Well, I've had like focal unaware. No, I've had a focal aware.
I'm not, yeah.
Uh, but I haven't had a focal since I started taking the B12 by Nature Made. Uh,
Oh,
these ones right
cool.
here.
Uh-huh.
Shout
Right.
out to Nature Made. But
Awesome.
yeah,
I'm really happy to hear that.
it's been a while. I was like, wow, it's working. It's doing something. So I'll
Since your
figure out.
mom, since
I'll
since
see
you
what
and
it
mom
does
were
in a
in
month
bed
or two.
together?
In a month or two, I'll figure out if it's actually been helping.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't want to blame it on that, and it's so early in.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, because I don't have seizures that often anymore.
Mm.
Every,
Yeah,
maybe once or twice a month, I'll have a focal.
yeah. Every now and then, it's like I was better than last year. Last year, I was having around maybe 4 to 6. The year before that, I was having around 5 to 7, and then last year I had I think 4. And this year I'm hoping to get under 4. Right now I'm at 2. So
Uh, well, my wife says I have more than I, you know,
right, so I'm thinking that too. I might
yeah.
have more
But
than
I
I
don't
even know
know.
about.
Yeah, I don't know. The only time I know that I have one, I mean, even when I tell my wife that I'm going to go lie down, I think I'm going to have a seizure. I don't know if I have one or not.
Right.
Unless I chew on my jaw, my tongue, or my cheek. Because
Yeah, I
I'll,
got something in the comments that also
what do you
says
got?
lamotrigine may also cause insomnia in some people. It does for me, and my epileptologist added 2 milligrams of Ficompa, and now I sleep like a baby. I might need that because I have problems sleeping, and I did not know that that was the issue. I think these doctors are like on a don't ask, don't tell.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to start inquiring about certain things because they're not. And then when you ask them about it, they add things to it. Like you said, they add Compa. Well, you probably could have told them earlier and it would have been something different. But yeah, also
Hey, Doc, yeah.
someone says when I got to maybe 200 milligrams twice daily, I noticed I was sleeping very little. Woke up 5 times to pee, woke up 5 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep. It was lovely waking up with sunrise, but I wasn't sleeping enough. Neurologist gave me trazodone. I sort of hated it, so I swapped it for a higher dose of gabapentin. Fast forward, and I'm now also on Keppra. I started 1,000 milligrams twice daily. I'm now on 250 milligrams twice per day of Lamictal. Couldn't handle the higher doses. When I take my nighttime meds, I'm out within 3 hours and I sleep like a damned baby. I'm getting off of Keppra in about 6 days because of my mood stuff. I'm curious to see how warped my sleep becomes after I'm off of it. Talk to your neurologist. I don't know if Lamictal could cause sleep issues, as every other med has made me exhausted. Neurologists can totally recommend a sleep aid. Gabapentin isn't a sleeping pill, but oh my, it's helpful with getting my brain in sleep mode and staying in it. That's very helpful because, like I said, I have the sleep problems, and I did not know that. I thought maybe it was just me, and they tried to say it was sleep apnea. I don't know if sleep apnea exactly bothers it, but I have the sleep apnea, the CPAP machine, and I try to use
Oh,
it.
you do have a CPAP machine?
Yeah, I try
That's
using
probably
it.
why you can't. That's probably why you can't sleep.
Right? Really?
Well, I'm only thinking because I won't have one because I know I won't be able to sleep with something on my face. Now, is it a mask or is it just a hose like thing under your nose?
Um, it's basically a hose under your nose.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Put
that.
it right here and just sleep with this. And there's this cap I put on, and then the tubes go in on both sides, and it's wrapped around my head. But I haven't used it in a while, but I tried it, and it's mostly because of the hair. I'm gonna be real. It's the hair just all in the way, and it's just uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
It's uncomfortable to sleep with, really. Even without the hair,
Right.
I would be like it's uncomfortable to sleep with. I'm not used to
Yeah.
having something wrapped around my head like a face mask or a helmet while I
Right.
sleep.
I can't even do facial hair, man. A mustache. But no. But no, I can't. I don't do well with something on my face trying to sleep.
Yeah, I'll try it eventually and see if it works again. But as of right now, it's very uncomfortable, and they want me
Uh-huh.
to sleep with it. So either way, I think it's gonna fall off in my sleep because I toss and turn anyway. I usually
Me
start on my
too.
stomach. Start
Yeah.
on my stomach, and I wake up on my side or on my back, or worst case scenario on the floor.
I haven't even fallen off the bed in years. If I have a seizure, I'm just all over the bed. I don't, for some reason, I don't know. I've gotten to the point with my seizures where it's like it almost doesn't even bother me anymore. I just got a real, I don't care attitude anymore. It doesn't interfere with my life
Right,
because I don't allow it to.
right.
Uh,
I
and,
know
and
what you
I'll,
mean.
and I'm not allowing, I mean, I'm not having, grandmas or TCs. So it is what it is.
Someone
My
said,
major problem is having one at work.
"Oh
I
yeah,
did have one when I first started, and they all thought I was having a stroke. It happened in the office, and it's a real clustered area with all these big steel tables touching each other, and then there's a few places where there's little uh like 2 foot wide um, areas where like one I fell down in between, and then I had this stainless steel racks with pots and pans and stuff on. I fell down in between that, and I'm having a seizure, a grand mal. Freak these people out, man. Because nobody knew anything. And I hadn't told them. I had told the woman when she interviewed me on the phone, but it never got written down.
Right.
So yeah,
It's like oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. What was I gonna say? I don't remember, but I moved on to what I see now. It says, um, I recently was diagnosed with epilepsy in March, which has been a few months, but as the months get further and further away from March, I seem to be getting worse. I hear a lot of bad stories about the Keppra, and I'm on 1,000 milligrams of Keppra. And some people say that's too much to start with, but I don't know because I'm not a doctor. And that person obviously wasn't a doctor. Um, so should I be worried? And does Keppra or the epilepsy ever make you want to step off the side of the bridge? I paraphrase to step off the side of the bridge because it says commit, So I don't really like
Uh,
saying that a lot. Do you think it's the Keppra or the epilepsy that's causing the depression and making me want to step off the side of the bridge? I really would like opinions, and if it is the Keppra, which I think it might be, but I'm not 100% sure, I would like to get in touch with my doctor so someone answer this as soon as possible.
get a hold of your doctor
Yeah, get a hold of your doctor.
because
Kepra's like the starter. They just put you on it and see how it works, and then if you
yeah,
don't
and then it
complain,
moved from there.
you don't complain, they won't say anything. They won't.
Uh-uh. It works for you, good. Make it easy on me.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just tell them to Google Capra, and it tells you right there what the side effects are. Or like I get my medication from uh mail-in, and I get a big list of all the side effects and how to take the medication and why not. A big thick stack of but yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the side effects is suicidal tendencies.
Yeah, at the bottom of this, it also says edit. What keeps you from stepping off the side of the bridge? My kids, family.
Knowing that knowing that it's a side effect.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids and everything.
Yeah,
The main reason I got kids, and
yeah.
I think it
You
would
don't want to
suck
do
knowing your
that.
dad just gave up on himself. Um,
Uh-huh. He was a
not gonna give up.
loser.
I fight it, seizures and all, uncontrolled. I'll
Uh-huh.
fight it for them. Have to be here.
And
Love
it's
my
only going
kids.
to get easier. Let me tell you that, my man.
Yeah,
It's only going to get easier
yeah.
on your
Eventually,
mind.
depression passes, but yeah, like you
Yeah,
said, it gets easier.
what I try and tell people, Pookie, is don't allow this um uh the epilepsy. Don't allow it to take control of you. And it's easy for me to say because I don't have epilepsy like I used to. But people that are dealing with tonic-clonics every day, I mean, I can't speak for that. I mean, I can't imagine that. And they might just get fed up where I can't do this anymore. And I don't have anybody to help me out. Uh, you, for instance, okay, you're living by yourself. Uh, that would be difficult. If you were having tonic-clonic, if you think about it, think about
Oh
being
no,
on.
I don't live by myself.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard that.
No, I mean my sister. She lives with me. Being here,
Okay,
she's not here at the moment, but yeah, um,
okay.
my sister.
Well, but
She's
you know what I'm saying, though.
yeah,
You
that would be
know,
very hard.
yeah, if you're having tonic-clonic, there's no one there to support you.
Right.
help you out. I'll pick you up and maybe put you in bed or sit you down off the floor. And
Right. I
yeah,
was
we'll
not
get
like that. Uh,
okay, good.
I wouldn't even suggest living alone, but I do have a friend
No.
who lives alone. So,
Or
yeah.
how about even taking a shower alone?
No, I try not to. I try to just say, listen out for me. I do that
I
much at
don't even
least.
do that anymore. I don't, I mean, I think one time that I can think of, I fell out of the shower, took the shower curtain down. I might even have slipped on soap or something, as far as I know. But I don't know. I can't, I don't remember having a seizure in the shower. I
Yeah.
think I mentioned this on Zoom one time that I usually have a seizure when there's nothing going on in my head, like I'm just watching TV, or maybe I'm relaxing. That's when I have a seizure, not when I'm doing something or
Yeah, me
uh
too. I usually get the focals when I'm relaxing, when I'm just doing nothing.
yeah,
When I'm
right.
doing something and moving or excited about something, I don't usually get a focal.
Because your mind's working.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah. Stay
But when
active,
you're
I guess.
relaxing, you know,
I mean, I like
probably not a
relaxing,
whole
but
lot going on.
I guess staying active would help. As much as I like relaxing, staying
Uh,
active is what I need to do.
that's why I hear that smoking pot's good. But it's like if
For
I was
some
to
people.
do that, yeah. But if I was to do that, then I would just be zoning.
Yeah.
And I smoked pot. I did meth for years and years and years. Alcoholic. I've been in prison.
Oh,
Did 6 years in prison.
never been. I'm glad I haven't.
Good. No, no. I tell you, man, my history is so bad, and I've got a chunk of time of my life that's gone. I could have killed somebody for all I know.
Right.
And as far as how did I take medication? Where did I get medication? I
Was it harder in prison with epilepsy?
I don't remember. I don't hardly remember
Yeah, it's a lot I don't remember either.
it. Yeah. A lot of it I don't want to remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's a lot I try not to remember too.
Right,
Some stuff
right.
I don't want to remember.
Uh-huh. But
Another
I
one.
mean, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, there's so many people that we talk to that are on Zoom all the time that live lives in complete fear of what's going to happen. I mean, things we read on these uh on social media about how people are scared to death about what's going to happen today. Am I going to have a seizure today? Uh, am I going to choke on something? Or I
Right.
can't fathom that. I'm
I'm
sorry,
always
but
I'm always thinking that when I'm like sweeping or something, I'm like, what if I wake up on the floor and the broom here or something? Like certain things, I'm like, should I be doing this or should I not? Some things I think maybe it's small, maybe it's not, or would it still cause something? There's always the thought there of like what I'm doing is going to do something every time I'm doing something.
I fell off a ladder. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I was getting up on the roof
Mm,
to clean something, to get something out of the gutters, climbing up the ladder, and I fell off the ladder. Next thing I know, paramedics were there. Um, now now that I moved over to another duplex, another different owner, when he found out I was epileptic, he doesn't want me doing any yard work. He doesn't want me on the roof. If there's something that goes wrong, I mean, Even if you can fix it, I want to know about it. I don't do that. I cut the grass, I trim the tree, I do everything. But of course, because I'm a liability. If I have a seizure, I hurt myself, and he's aware of my epilepsy, maybe he would be liable. I don't know, but
Right.
I don't know. I can't do that. I can't live that like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about when you said climb the ladder. I didn't have epilepsy back then, but when I was what the time I was thinking about is I think I was like 7 or 8, and me and one of my cousins, we would climb out of the window on the third floor of his
Oh man,
grandmother's
I got
house.
stories.
We would be on the roof, like of the third floor. And I went back and I looked at that house and I was like, that is so high. I would not do that these days.
Oh
And
hell no.
and I never even thought about it as a kid. We were just having fun, climbing out of the top floor window and climbing on the roof. And I
Okay,
couldn't
here you
imagine
go.
falling.
I'm from Philadelphia. I lived in Philly for the first 18 years of my life, and we had snowdrifts. I lived in a tri-level, and we had snowdrifts up to the back of the house that went up to almost to the bathroom window. Underneath the bathroom window was a door that went into the garage. Well, we would jump out of the bathroom window when my parents weren't home
Wow.
into the snowdrift. And I mean, you'd go down in the snow and there's no, I mean, you have to have somebody dig you out.
Wow.
And yeah, we were kids, we were stupid. But I think about it now. What were you, a
Yeah,
friggin' idiot?
could have gone so much worse.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went down in this snowdrift. If it wasn't for my brother or one of my other friends, not just me, but them, you know. You hear about people dying in avalanches and stuff because they're buried by snow. I don't know. It's the things we did as kids, and we're still alive.
Right.
And then you have kids like out front here. I got kids that ride around on bikes, little kids. They fall down, scrape a knee, and they're crying. Mommy and daddy have to come get them. I mean, I got more damn scars. My father was a paramedic. He would stitch us up instead of taking us to the ER.
That's kind of nice, but did he numb it?
With what?
I was just wondering. It was just a curiosity.
I know, but I'm just saying that's the type of life I live,
Yeah.
and or he just put butterfly band-aids on it. And all right, you go out and play.
Like I was saying that I used to like be on that roof. Like I passed that house
Uh-huh.
recently and I looked at that roof, like standing next to it, and I was like, that is so high. And I never looked
You
down
were
when we were
so
on the roof.
stupid. Of course we didn't.
We
No,
never looked down. We were just on the
no.
roof and
You knew
laughing,
better.
giggling.
You didn't know better to get on the roof, but you knew better than to look down.
Right. Since the house, the roof was on an angle, we would have to
Uh-huh.
climb up and walk up. So that was
Yeah.
also, we never looked back. When we were done, we just sitting up there doing nothing, just sitting there looking at the street.
Oh, I just remembered something. I remember I was a teenager. One of the guys that were about 10 years older than us, he started a business doing cedar siding and cedar roofs. And it was all the kids in the neighborhood. We were in our late teens. There was guys in their early 20s that were helping them do this. I was on a second story roof and I was carrying a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And I was walking up towards the peak of the roof and the wind came over the peak, and I had this 4x8 sheet of plywood over my head. It picked me up off of the roof and I fell. landed on a pile of sand. Everybody says, what was a pile of sand? A pile of sand is a pile of rock, is all it is.
Right.
It knocked my breath out of me, but
Yeah,
stupid.
there was this one time I did have epilepsy, and I always think back on it now. I was like, what would happen if I buried they buried me in the sand?
Uh-huh.
I always think
Right.
about that. Like, what would happen since I'm buried in sand and I can't actually move? I think I would hurt my head, right? Because my head would probably be out of control.
Actually, you went on. If you were buried in sand, I
Yeah,
mean, that's like being buried in plaster.
yeah. It
You
was like
can't move anything. Oh, to there?
next,
Okay.
it was
I
up
did
to
that
this
to
feet.
my, yeah, I
I was
did that
laying
with my
back.
daughter.
All I could see is my head out. Well, not all I
Yeah,
could see. All they could see was my head. And we all
right.
found it funny. And I think it might have been my idea. So,
I did it with my daughter when she was probably 8 or 10 down at the beach. Put her in the sand and I buried her. I got pictures of it. And I same thing. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what were you thinking? This is your daughter, you know? I don't
yeah.
know. Again, some of the things we do, we step back and look at it and like, what were you thinking? I was probably drunk.
I don't think I was drunk. Actually, I was at the beach. I might have been smoking before we got there or on the way or
Uh,
there. But yeah,
oh, and most of the time I was stoned.
dangerous business. Me too.
From the time I was I smoked dope from the time I was like 13 till I was 18. That's when I went into prison. Got out when I was 23. Started doing meth, smoking, drinking until I was 40. The funny thing is I still have all my teeth. My eyes aren't sunk back in my head.
Your face isn't
And
all
I,
drooping.
right. And, you know, I lived one hell of a life, man. And I'm alive right now. And
Great
again,
story, man. Great story.
and,
You're here today. Yeah.
and you know what? A lot of it is my faith. If it wasn't for me coming into the truth, being a witness, I'd be dead. I'm sure of it. But 20 years ago, and that's when I got off the drugs, the alcohol, quit smoking cigarettes. That's another thing. I smoked cigarettes all my life.
Yeah. It was
You ought to see my
like
brothers. They look like weebles. Fat, gray haired.
with me recently, I haven't smoked since I think it was last Wednesday. Kind of cold turkey, so I'm kind of proud of that. But it was just like I'm not gonna go get any because I've been happy just doing the podcast and just editing videos all day. I haven't really
Cool.
had time to just
That's
go out and
great.
get it. So it was really cold turkey without noticing it was
Uh-huh.
cold turkey. It
Well,
was
but if you don't think
unintentional.
about it, don't have any ashtrays around. You don't have people over that are smoking.
Oh yeah, I
It's
do.
not,
I got my
you
sister
do.
here smoking, so
Oh,
it
that makes it
hasn't.
more difficult.
No, it hasn't bothered me for some reason.
Oh, no? Oh,
I thought
cool.
about it, and then I always tell myself don't because I actually try to stop smoking tobacco
Good.
also. So being that she's smoking
Oh, that's what I'm
tobacco,
talking about. Smoking tobacco.
oh yeah, I stopped smoking weed cold turkey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
I
I'm
told
happy for
myself
you, man.
I told myself that I would stop with the nicotine smoking cigars with my pot, but then I started smoking papers and then just stopped all the way all of a sudden without
Good
even
deal, man.
without even thinking about it. Just stop smoking.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome.
I got something else here. It says, forgot to order decaf. You have problems with coffee?
I love coffee. The coffee's my go-to, man.
I want
And
some
I just
coffee.
finished my second cup.
Think I
I
want some
used to,
coffee now.
I drink lots of coffee, and it doesn't bother me. People have got all these triggers. I don't know of any triggers that I have.
Right. I don't know
There
any.
might be. I don't know.
Like there's everything that people do, and I always wonder, like, you guys have these triggers, and I never hear about myself doing it. Like people say sleep deprived,
Right.
but then sleep deprived, I basically have insomnia and I'm not getting
You'd
much
be in a
sleep.
constant seizure.
Not getting much sleep, and then I don't have a seizure. And then there's like
Right.
there's alcohol for some people, and I'd be like, I used to drink and I didn't have seizures, but the
Same here.
last time I drank was Easter. So yeah, hasn't been a problem because my sister left this sitting on my dresser, and it's just been sitting there. And I
Oh
don't
yeah, I got some in the out in the garage in the pantry.
yeah,
We never drink it. My wife and I both, we stopped overnight, man. Everything.
yeah. I look at it, but it doesn't. I don't even think to do it. I tell myself I want to see how my body works without stimulants. Um,
And I can go to the bar and sit in the bar with my friends.
get a glass of water.
No, if I want something to drink, I'll get a soda or some water. But I don't, I believe that it's my faith. I believe it's Holy Spirit that is keeping me from indulging. I haven't got the least desire. Don't even think about it.
Me either. But I got to that question of forgot to order decaf. So I went to Dunkin' today. They're having a $6 breakfast special for anyone who might be interested. And I'll typically order a decaf iced coffee, half calf when I'm feeling risky. Today, I don't know what happened, but I forgot to ask for decaf. Caffeine can be a trigger for me, and I haven't had a seizure for a while. I don't want to have a breakthrough seizure, but I'm about not about to throw this coffee away. I don't want to waste my money, and epilepsy aside, coffee is one of my favorite beverages. Do any of you guys have any tips to lessen the impact of caffeine or have or how to get out of my system fast? I plan on drinking heaps of water, of course, but any other device would be really appreciated. Caffeine doesn't bother me, but I stopped drinking sodas and I stopped drinking caffeine teas.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, I'm trying to take out stimulants. So that was one of them. I just cut them out cold turkey. I just want to see if I can stop having seizures for the rest of this year, if that would help. Then if that's what it is, then I could tell my doctor. Then I got my seizures are controlled. If that's what it is, the
Uh-huh.
stimulants. Uh, but
And
yeah,
people saying, well, I'm gonna wean myself off of medication because I haven't had a seizure in so long. Well, uh, in my point of view, with me anyway, even though I've had brain surgery, I had the VNS and such, I don't have seizures that often. I'm epileptic. Personally, I'm epileptic. I'm going to be epileptic. Even if I stop completely, I'm not stopping taking medication.
right,
I mean, it's just me. It's part of me.
right. At
I
this point, we just gotta. Yeah, I've gotten used
accept,
to it. I've learned to just. I have epilepsy.
yeah, end the conversation. I'm
Right.
epileptic.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me anymore.
No.
Um,
See,
everyone
well,
else is bothered.
I guess we're of the few
Yeah,
that,
there's a few.
yeah, I can't fathom being under control of fear of having a seizure. I I can't imagine that.
Right. Like there's the people who always have the fear of I did this and I think I'm gonna have a seizure, so I'm gonna go lay down because I think I'm gonna have the seizure.
Yeah,
I don't have that.
that's a hell
I
of a
try to live
life,
my life.
man.
Just don't let it get to me.
Right, right. That's a hell of a
Afterwards,
life, man, to live like that. Now I can see why
Afterwards,
people want to kill
yeah,
themselves, man.
if I do have a seizure afterwards, then I usually think, okay, maybe I might have, maybe it might have been that, maybe it might have not. But
Right.
I never just let it stop me from living my life. And I've had the thoughts of stepping off that bridge, but that was on Kepra, so I don't take that anymore. And I've
Uh,
been pretty good. Been
I've
real
never
good.
had that. I can't think of that ever being an issue.
Yeah, I took Kepra before I had kids, and I think I was in high school, so I had real bad thoughts time to time, and I had bad thoughts of hurting other people time to time. My personality was different. I wouldn't say angry, but I was more likely to hurt someone than I would be now.
Oh, you know what? My wife has told me before that I get angry. And I don't see it, but there was a time at work where I went off on somebody. And it's not me. I'm not that way. And then one time my wife and I were talking and I just got really angry. And I stopped and I said, "Oh my God, Tracy, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from." She says, "Tom, you do that more than you think." And I said, "Well, that must be medication." She said, "I
Right.
think you're right." But because it's like I went off and I'm like, why did I just do that? So maybe that's medication. But
Yeah.
and she said that's what she always thought. So that's why she's really never said anything.
Yeah, like when I was in my teens to early 20s to late 20s to maybe most recently, even after the pills, I think I was in a gang, so it was just like
Oh yeah.
I was doing gang stuff. I didn't shoot anybody or hurt anybody in that time.
Right.
And luckily, I'm still here, haven't been to prison. I would say never been to jail. Went to jail once, but I was there for a few hours before my dad came and got me. He was like, "Jail isn't
Yeah.
for you." My dad's like, "Jail isn't for you. I did 20 years of my life in jail." He's like, "I know it isn't for you. I got to come get you."
Yeah. Let's get this done and over with. Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that's something else. When I was a kid, we used to steal cars and joyride. And my father got so fed up of getting me out of jail, he was like, whatever. And my friend, his father, we live in Philadelphia, and we were over in Ohio. It's the next state over. We got in jail. We ended up in jail over there. My friend's father went to get him out, and he got me out too. I don't ever remember going there for court or anything, but so I asked my dad. I was like, Why didn't you get me out? I'm fed up. You want to go? You want to get in trouble? You get in trouble, you get yourself out of it.
yeah.
But I mean, that's after years of getting in trouble.
Yeah, I went. I was arrested for international money laundering. Uh, Dumb stuff. I had a friend who made checks. He had a legit company, so I didn't understand why I was arrested.
Right.
Um, but then afterwards, after thinking about it so much, I was like, okay, yeah, I was in the big wrong.
Why didn't I see this?
Yeah, he had me send 90,000 to the Philippines, so
uh,
I think he gave me like 10,000. So I just kind of was like, okay, and put it in the bank account. And he kept telling me, don't go back to the same bank. And I was like, all right. But then eventually I had the card was locked. I couldn't, it wouldn't let me spend money anymore. So I went back to the bank, like wondering what the hell's going on. But when I did that,
oh,
they
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 were already on. They already knew.
they I don't think they were ready. But when I went there, and then they were like, all right, hold on one second, sir. We'll get right to it.
Yeah.
We'll check the computers and see what's going on or whatever the case. And minutes after minutes, they came out. Would you like something to drink? We can get you something to drink because the Bank of America that I was at was inside of a Safeway. So they were like,
Uh-huh.
I could buy you a soda. Would you like something to drink? We can come in here and sit down and all this and this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just waiting for, get the information back so I can get out of here. Police came in
We're
behind
waiting on
me.
the police.
Cops came in behind me. I had no idea they were coming. They had these
Uh,
big guns drawn out, and they were just screaming, "Get on the ground!" My mom was screaming and stuff, and I regret it. But
hey,
yes,
take a pill, guy. I'm good.
right. And I was just in panic, and like I said, I was in a gang, so I did not respect police at the time. I was trying to get out of there. I was trying to run. Oh man, that's the worst thing to do. And those
Uh-huh.
batons, nothing to play with. And they do not care where they hit you at. Yeah, they were hitting me in the back and the sides and the stomach. And I was like, okay, I'm laying down, I'm laying down, I'm laying down.
It's
And
all good. It's all
I'm
good.
still laying down. They're still hitting me. And I'm just like, okay. So, and then my mom is screaming and stuff. So eventually they stopped hitting me and they threw me in the car or whatever. I'm in panic. I'm screaming. Never been to jail. So I was kind of scared. And I was just, like I said, in panic. So when I got there, they threw me in a cell alone at the time. And there was like a bunch of people in the area. And there was one guy like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. It's like, what? But yeah, I went in the cell and instantly I started having thoughts of like, is this what life is gonna be like? I'm in a cell alone. I start thinking, should I start doing push-ups? Should I start working out? Should I get used to this?
Shadow boxing.
I think I did like 2 sets of 40 and I was like, is this what life is gonna be like in prison? Should I just keep working out? That's what people do. Work out, right? And eventually, yeah, my dad came and got me. He actually sent my son's mother, and he was like, "Yeah, it's not for you." He didn't ask me to pay him back or anything, but he does. He does remind me. Remember, I did this for you. He doesn't ask me to pay
uh,
him back, but he does remind me.
oh yeah, but he still has that over your head.
Yeah. Uh, One of the comments on that decaf thing says, "Disclaimer: I could be wrong. I just read the other day that stuff digests differently in sunshine and also while moving around a bit, and something about carbs digesting better when there's fiber. My 2 cents is a bit of a walk around outside if you have time, but I'm a medicated epileptic who can't push through a to-do list without coffee." It's a good way to put it.
Uh, let me just be honest about this. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Uh, what's today? Sunday. I'll see you Tuesday.
All right. See you
All
then.
right. All right. Well, you take care, my friend.
You have a good rest of your day too.
And thanks. I appreciate this.
No problem. I'm trying to do more with people, and
Yeah, yeah. It's
eventually
better
I'll
it's one-on-one.
eventually I'll cut pieces out and post them, so it won't be
Yeah.
that bad.
No, hey, it's all good, man. It's all
You have a
good.
great story, inspiring.
Thank you.
You have a good day though.
All right, take care, man.
You too.